Hi, I'm Casey Shaw. I'm a farmer from Buntine and Mayer. The location of the trial here is just north of Buntine, and it's on a sandy loam soil. Our farming enterprise is 100% cropping, and this year on the trial we've sown it into wheat. Last year it was into barley, and barley the previous year to that as well. So soil management on our farm, or amelioration, we've been trialling deep ripping on the sort of suitable soil types around the farm. That's probably been the main focus in recent times, as well as your typical liming program. And on this farm here, we've trialled some deep ripping on the trial itself. No change from last year, or just continuing to monitor the trial from last year. It was a bit of a failure last year, but so the trial was looking at composting on salt-affected soil. So we looked at differing rates of compost, and then also incorporating some of that with deep ripping. So we looked at a couple of different rates. We looked at a 3-tonne rate and a 5-tonne per hectare rate, and we replicated a couple of those with it being deep ripped as well. Yeah, so the trial last year wasn't overly successful. We had a fairly low rainfall for the growing season, and that really made it difficult. No major wetting rainfall events to help with the germination on that salt-affected soil. So we really didn't see any noticeable difference between the control and the trial strips. This year, it's almost been the complete reverse with some fantastic rainfall. Germination's been fantastic across all trial strips, including the control. However, it's more noticeable on the composting strips, and the thoughts are at the moment there's probably extra nutrition there as the compost is broken down, probably more access to nitrogen. It seems to have a better, sort of healthier look to the plant, darker green type colour to it. So we'll see it come harvest whether the results are there in the yield. Yeah, so the rips to non-ripped, it does look maybe slightly better. It also has that typical kind of uneven look to it. So yeah, it's hard to tell at the moment. Seems germination-wise, it seems fairly reasonable. Probably having that second year of being ripped, it's sort of a better soil bed to seed into. So yeah, overall I'd say it looks slightly better, but again, we'll sort of have to wait and see until harvest to see whether the results show up there. Yeah, so we did some tissue testing across the 4 different trial strips, and it did show up that the 3 composting strips compared to the control all had healthier levels of nutrients, particularly nitrogen looked better, which does reflect in how it looks visually. Yep, yeah, so going forward, we'll continue to monitor it. We've really had sort of the 2 completely opposite years this year to last. So last year it was very difficult to take much out of it, being quite a dry year. This year, obviously one of the wettest that we've had in the last 30 years. So I think we'll probably want to try and monitor it another couple of years, and hopefully we keep having seasons like this year, but you know, if we have some more typical years, we'll get a better idea of whether it's helping out with that plant establishment and water infiltration that we're hoping it'll achieve. So we'll see how it goes, and we might look at doing some different trials on some similar soil around here using gypsum instead to see whether that has any impact. Yeah, so the GenY program's been really helpful for me, being sort of only recently coming back to the farm. It's been a great way of interacting with peers and sort of hearing some of the great ideas that the other people in the group have had. So yeah, it's been a really well organised and well structured environment to sort of have a go and trial some different ideas. Thanks to Liebe and NAC for sort of supporting the program and coming up with the structure and idea for the the Gen Y program, it's been great to be involved in.